Yeah, you're transmitting. Okay, stand by. Patrol, you ready? We're set up and ready. Kayla will be coming out.
Prostitution has been around for centuries. It's in more places and more neighborhoods than you would think. And witnessing that firsthand, at least for me, was eye-opening. Vice runs this monthly undercover operation in different parts of town, using their female officers, trying to take down these Johns and address this issue.
24, 34, 31, both, 30 for both. Maybe I've got the Isis Romero.
It was amazing how quickly these female officers were approached. Within minutes, literally minutes, a John would approach and offer money for some sort of sex act. One of the big misconceptions about prostitution is that you have to exchange money or actually engage in the sex act, and that's not what the law says. As soon as an agreement is made, that person has crossed the line.
Oh, they got Bridgie behind you. See it?
Support, David.
Right there by where all those girls are sitting.
Right.
Baby, how you doing? 20 bucks? For 30? 30? No. Alright. Just go ahead and meet me in the corner of there.
So, we're to move in. Park next. Okay, it's moving. It's going to be a red four-door Jeep right now. Going southbound.
Thank you, Jesse.
In less than 2 hours, officers arrested 5 Johns on a random Tuesday morning. Officers say it doesn't matter what day it is or what time of day it is, there is always activity on the streets. They are constantly busy. Coming up next.
I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? And the car stopped. That was my first experience with a John.
He told me just go make a date. I didn't know what they were talking about. They said just go stand on Guadalupe, you'll learn.
An up-close look at the women who sold themselves on the streets. 2 former sex workers share their stories of life as a prostitute. Their journey and road to a new beginning is up next.
My first memory was my dad's best friend at the age of 3, I was 3, molesting me. So that's kind of how my life began. Nobody really believed me, so it was a little tough. Trying to get people to believe me.
At 4 years old, my mom walked in my room and caught her father on top of me. That was the beginning of the sexual assaults. My mom, you know, she was hanging out at the bars, and she would bring home men and they would molest me.
I ended up with a man that did 13 years in prison. He was the one that really showed me the harder drugs, the crack cocaine, the shooting up of cocaine. We were at a drug dealer's house, and he had asked me if I would be okay with sleeping with the drug dealer for him to be able to get more drugs. Everything within me told me no, but I wanted to please him, and so I did it.
I remember one day my youngest was 4 months, my oldest was 12. And we were on Guadalupe Street, and I remember flagging down one of the officers and told him to take him to CP because I didn't want him to get hurt. I knew that I was so strung out that I wasn't going to be able to take care of him the way I was. And it was hard, but it was better than them getting sexually abused like I was, you know. It really, really messed me up for a long, long time. And I got involved in the hardcore drugs because I was drunk one day and I was living in the projects in the Alazan, and my neighbor was a drug addict and she wanted to get more money to buy more drugs, so she decided I was drunk enough for her to take advantage of me, and she gave me cocaine, and that started the cocaine process. That was the beginning of, wow, like a terrible life, yeah.
I had a friend at the methadone clinic. She lived by Guadalupe Street. And she's like, come stay with me. I'll take care of you. I'll help you get on your feet. She's like, we won't tell nobody at the clinic. Nobody has to know. We can just make you a quick, $50, $60. And I'm like, doing what? What do I have to do? I'll do anything. She's like, well, Guadalupe was 2 blocks away. And she's like, all you have to do is walk out there and a car will stop. And you can do this shot of cocaine, and you're not going to feel anything on your way out there. So I went out there, and I was nervous still, even being high. I was high enough to where I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? And a car stopped, and that was my first experience with a John. And I really need the money, and I ended up giving him oral sex in his vehicle.
One day I'm just, they told me just go make a date. And I was like, I didn't know what they were talking about. They said, just go stand on Guadalupe, you'll learn. And that's the way I learned. I got picked up by an older man my first time, and he thought I was a high school student. But I was about 21 at the time. And from there, my first date, it went so easy, and I made quite a bit money, and so it became easy. It became a habit, and because of the money I was making, I got really strung out. things didn't always go good. You know, you get picked up by guys that rape you and they rob you. They leave you far away. They want to beat you up.
But how many men were you with on a given day?
20, 25. 20, 25. And my drug habit was unreal. Even the drug dealers would be like, how are you even consuming this much? I'm talking about $400 or $500 worth of drugs a day. A lot of these girls were doing maybe 75, 100. I was like on another level. And not only was I shooting up heroin and smoking crack, but I was also drinking. I was like trying to find this balance that I couldn't find. Like I wanted to feel normal and I couldn't. I was up, I was down, I was left, I was right. It was crazy.
Behind impression, behind the mirror, lies a girl only I can see her, hidden, buried in a non-stop dreamer.
I know that what I've been through the past 20 years has made me the person that I am today. And I learned a lot, and I tell myself that I'm a survivor. You know, like today I'm going to college to be a licensed chemical dependency counselor. And although books are teaching me, I feel like my experience is going to be the best teacher, because I've been there, done that, and that's my goal. You know, even though I went through all that, I've been able to come out of it.
Choose to stay. I'll be the face.
You have to be tired of being sick and tired. There has to be a feeling inside of you that's telling you that this can't be a great quality of life. This is not what life's about. You know, you have to be committed. I learned how to deal with life on life's terms. I've learned that it's okay to feel, that there are things that you can do to deal with and handle certain situations. You know, blast the music in your car as loud as you want. You know, to get out anxiety or frustrations. I don't have to run to drugs. You know, I got reunited with my kids. We had no relationship. I have a full-blown relationship with my children. I'm gonna be a grandmother. So hopefully, you know, those are the kind of things that I'm gonna continue to look forward to.
World, I choose to stay.
What else has the Esperanza program taught you?
Not to focus on the negative. So what, you know, I did this, I did that, you know, they teach us to stay focused on what's ahead of us, not what's behind us.
When you think about the issue of prostitution in San Antonio, it encompasses so much. San Antonio has 9 corridors known for prostitution. The Guadalupe corridor, where we took you earlier in the show, is one of them. Some are far more active than others, and activity fluctuates from year to year. The Zarzamora-Culebra corridor, for example, had 240 cases in 2015 and 62 in 2016. Over on the east side, you've got the New Braunfels corridor and the Hackberry-Houston areas, which are constantly active. And then you've got the Roosevelt-Presa area on the south side, among many others. one place you don't see it, at least not out in the open, is the north side. You can walk the streets of anywhere north of 410 and you don't really see it. But police will tell you it is still happening, it's just taken another form.
And so we'll go into San Antonio. All right, so this is local. So here is welcome and introductions.
The internet has really become the go-to place for this kind of activity. Police say they are seeing more activity move off the streets and into online postings on all sides of town, not just the north side. Women and men will advertise on chat boards. The ads will be pornographic in nature, so it's obvious what the ad is for. The John contacts them, they agree on a time and a meeting location, and then that's it. It has made law enforcement's job a lot more difficult.
See, there's all her rates right there. So half hour, 45 minutes, half hour, 90 minutes.
Some sites are well known to the average person, even those who don't use them, like Backpage.com. I think almost everyone has heard of that one. Backpage is the largest, most popular website for escorts and sex workers. In fact, police say they see about 175 to 200 new postings a day on that website alone, a lot of them from people just passing through San Antonio, not necessarily living here. Then you have websites that are gaining in popularity. Some have apps, some have paid memberships. When we were researching and learning about these different methods and websites, we were surprised to learn that there's even a website that allows Johns to review the sex worker, just like you'd review a restaurant for other Johns to read.
This is how they describe how much they paid. Each dollar sign is $100.
Okay.
So he paid $250. Describes her, and then you see how much he writes, you know, about the whole session of what went on.
The majority of prostitution happening in San Antonio is happening online and on these websites. In 2016, police made just shy of 1,200 arrests across the city, both online and on the streets. And this year, they're about on par to match those numbers from last year. There's obviously a debate over whether prostitution should be illegal. It's against the law in Texas, but a lot of people think it shouldn't be. They think this is between two consenting adults. What's the big deal? But many experts in this arena will tell you that's not the case. Prostitution is not a victimless crime. Studies have shown that most of the people who work in this industry were abused as young children, trafficked at a young age, or come from environments where they were forced into this type of work through no choice of their own. Prostitution will probably never go away, but at least here in San Antonio and Bexar County, there's an active effort to offer programs and support to get those in the industry out of it. But as the police and judges and counselors and everyone involved in that process will tell you, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. On the next episode of Up Close.
Skating is awesome. That's all I can think of, really.
Yeah, you would be amazed by some of the things that we've heard. They didn't match their couch anymore.
You're getting pushed through that fire, okay?
Oh my God.